Guys, it's Brad from Trinidad. Thank you for visiting my YouTube channel. Today, as you can tell from the title, we're at Viola Park. It's the home of AFC Fiorentina. They're a Serie A team. Right now we're in the hills of Tuscany, Florence, Italy. And yeah, this is one of the first videos on YouTube that we go behind the scenes of Fiorentina and check out their training facilities, because they started doing this tour on September 15th, 2025, so just a couple months. They've been doing this, and I'm one of the first people here to show you behind the scenes of Fiorentina. How cool is that, huh? To get here, it's not that accessible by public transportation, so you might want to drive. Also, it's maybe like $90-something per person for the tour, in case you're interested. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's, again, I'm not going to be talking as much. I'll let the professionals do it. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and please subscribe. When you subscribe, it's for free and it helps me. So thank you guys. So these are the training facilities for Fiorentina. You can see the Tuscany hills in the background over there. It's really nice. It's like one of a kind, they say, in Europe.
On the left side, the bar that we were mentioning earlier. The lilac flowers shirt. I will take this time to speak a little bit about not only the woman pavilion, but also about the importance for each part of this reality for the night division. Of course, there were some important changes, but not as much as we could think for the young talents and for the women. They already had a very good structure. Coverciano, inside of Florence. However, before this reality, before this place, well, the training reality and lifestyle of the women, the young talent, was very different. As for the women, while also being in their first league, they had to go and train almost each day in a different field, as we didn't have a proper official field for them. And of course, you might only imagine how this can change the performance of the players, of course. Now they are actually the only woman reality that has such a structure, and that has quite a lot. Their lifestyle completely changed, and also the possibility that this gets about recruitment in this case. Because, you know, not all recruits come from Tuscany, not everyone does have a home nearby. Sometimes you find talent elsewhere, even very far. Maybe at the end of Italy, to make an example, you know, which is more than 1,000 kilometers apart. You are maybe a parent, you have to decide if and how to change the life of your children. And I will let you decide by yourself in a moment how great or bad, perhaps you decide again. This can be for parents, how much assurance a place like this can give to an adult while thinking through her children's life. We were speaking about children. A lot of people here are less than 18, of course. This can create complications for having a job or for leaving the place. Okay, so you will find out in a little bit some small structures, some rooms dedicated to particular tasks, let's say, that maybe you might think you can find only in the center of the city, that maybe should or should not, or perhaps are considered sometimes only a luxury for this sector, this sports sector. However, I would like to think that, again, when you are less than 18, when you can exit this place only throughout a signed paper and so on, and maybe it's not always easy to contact a person that takes care of you, that can sign these papers. Sometimes to have these rooms, that again I was not thinking about them now, can be quite neuralgic.
Mm-hmm.
We will stop just outside to wait for the other guests. But also, whilst we are waiting, I will show you the small park to the left. It wasn't already decided for this to be the woman pavilion. It was actually decided by Caterina, the wife of the owner, because this is for her the best, the most beautiful place of the park, and it is thus for one reason, which is the view of Florence from here. From here it's possible to see also the dome of
Oh
Florence.
yeah, wow, that's amazing.
Well, and today the weather again helps us a great deal to
yeah, it's
show
really nice. Question, the first team, they train here as well?
The first team?
Yeah.
Yes, it does. Of course, it depends on the moment of the day and so on. Sometimes, not always, in fact, not rarely, but not always there. But we will go very near. In fact, you will see where they train. Both the fields, they have more than one, and also the gym. We will not enter in the male division gym, but you will be able to see it.
Okay, cool. Training session is done for the first team today?
Training session can change. So one I
know they
tell
played
you,
yesterday.
and truthfully, I don't even know right now their timeline.
But usually, like if they play, like I know they played yesterday. Do they get the day after off to rest?
No. Maybe their training plan can slightly change.
Okay.
However, it's important for them still to train.
Yes.
The workout doesn't have to be extenuating. Of course, it can be done so for, let's say, stretching and injury prevention, but that is still considered training.
Gotcha, yeah.
Alright, let's follow Eduardo, which is showing us how to go, which is without stepping.
Quindi io avevo detto, boh, li tengo tutti giù perché oggi sono in 11, li tengo tutti giù.
Rules that I didn't explain here, and for the moment I didn't even need to explain, but everyone was absolutely perfect. But just in case I will tell them now, let's always be nearby to each other, let's never go to the fields, let's never run. It's absolutely possible to make pictures, to make videos. Don't worry, we will kindly ask to stop for a moment just in case there is a need to, but there shouldn't be. And if we see some important players, we may of course greet them. However, of course, unless they are directly showing us we can go nearby, let's simply let them do their job, okay? Alright, we may enter the women's pavilion.
So this is the women's pavilion. As he said before, it's a marvel to have this kind of building inside our training center. Nobody has this, nowhere in Europe. But the president, he wanted to build it. He built it in the most beautiful spot inside the training center. So from the second floor, you might see the Duomo of Florence. So you can see some of the most important buildings of Firenze. And it's important to note that the girls have become professionals, legally professionals, from 2023. So it's not even been 2 years. and it's crazy but I mean, Italian bureaucracy, Italian standards, for those types of standards, this building, the teams we have, they're super modern, super we try to give the girls the dignity they haven't been giving them for 20-30 years. So I mean, in Europe, most games, they have about 20 to 25,000 viewers. While in Italy, even though we have the stadium you just saw, it's difficult to have 500 people each game to see the women's team. So it's difficult, but we're trying to change that. We're trying to change it and to expand the viewership for the women's team, and the women are great. It's, the soccer, the football they play it's actual soccer. One of the most frequent things they say about the women's team soccer is it's a different type of soccer from the one the men play, but it's not true. I also work with the women's team, and they're great. They're great. They sweat as much as the men's. It's crazy. So the girls are guarded 24/7. There's no way you could enter unannounced in this building. And the girls that stay here, they're 14 years old or up or older. Most of the people we have inside here, they're girls and boys from Tuscany, so they come here by bus or car or whatever. But the girls we have living here, they come from outside. They come from other regions or from places outside of Italy. This is the room in which the girls have their contract signed. And there's 3 of the trophies they've won in these past few years. This room is covered for privacy. It's a video room in which they do the tactical preparation before the trainings, before and after the trainings. And this box is the box in which we have a tutor every day, so the girls can go and do their homework. Or I mean, every boy and girl, they go to school, and for Fiorentina it's very important to have good grades. So if you don't have good grades, say you have a test and you don't get a good grade, it could be that you'll not play the following game. So that's how strict Fiorentina is towards the girls and the boys that don't have good grades. Yeah. Obviously, there's some wiggle room because there's certain boys and certain girls that score 20, 30 goals a year. So it would be unfair to not let them play, but still, Fiorentina looks at the grades a lot. School is very important.
For especially the younger generation, it's very important to be a knowledge between mind and body. Alright, now we'll be able to see the gym. I will speak about the gym in a second. I just finished about the holism, and we do really believe that to become a professional, to become a soccer player, it is not only through nurturing the body, but it is also and especially through nurturing and maturing the mind. Not only about the respect, but about to make person true, complete. We do all know how important is psychology, what it means to become not older per se, but again mature, a full-fledged soccer player. and you can't become a professional again without studying. So that's what we wanted to say and show. This is the gym.
Yeah, it's so one fun fact I'd like to say is 2 weeks ago I've had a tour with some people that wanted to build a training center for Chelsea. And Chelsea is one of the richest teams in Europe, yeah, in Premier League. So, and they're going to build a training center that's the equivalent of this pavilion and just this pavilion. So it's just something to say and make you realize that nobody has these types of facilities nowhere. So Chelsea will have a gym that's as big as this one, but this is just the women's team gym. We have another 3 gyms inside of the training center. So it's truly great. You can see the stuff we wanted to print on the walls. Obviously, we had something printed, otherwise the people would have been they would have gotten cooked inside of the gym, since it's hot in summer days. But yeah, they even have a small kitchen in which
For the nutrition of our
right, and yeah, this is their very modern gym. On the second floor, they have rooms. It's 13 rooms. They're all bubble rooms. They don't have anything. I mean, they're basically hotels. So they have everything. Nothing is missing. I'll even show you downstairs. We have hairdresser for the girls. That the president's wife, she wanted to have a hairdresser for the girls. Obviously, the boys, they have a barber.
Alright, while we are slowly going downstairs, and we thank Eduardo for this possibility, I want to take some small comparisons with the other pavilions. He mentioned that Chelsea will have a structure that will not be the equivalent of this one, and this is just only one of the pavilions that you have seen outside. While we are not going to see all of the pavilions inside, in fact inside we will see only this one, all of the pavilions do share some similarities. On the upper side are always the dorms. We are not going to visit the dorms, as that is the house of our girls. It is where they live. It's their private quarters, and of course we wouldn't want someone that we don't know to simply enter our house, okay? So that's one of the reasons that we will not show them today. However, all of the pavilions do have the upper side that are the private quarters of the players. They have the first etage that does have the gym, and each pavilion has its own gym. And all the offices, of course, for the debriefing. It might seem as a small thing, it is actually not. It is very much what divides a typical smaller soccer team that might play, where youngster when they are 7, 10 might play just for fun, and professionalism. We are not just playing, we are not just training, we are doing it also with the mind, because it needs to be a tactic to win. Sometimes it's not only about simple raw power and talent, let's say. And then there is the downstairs that we are seeing right now.
Each building has 3 floors, and usually the basement area is dedicated to physiotherapy, medical rooms, the dressing rooms, and over here we have the hairdresser for the ladies, and the boys have the barber, and then we have physio, right, and a medical room. Originally, all of these rooms weren't even covered with this material. They changed it because you could see the insides from the parking lot. So obviously, for very obvious reasons, they had to cover the rooms.
That is one of the small, albeit very important changes that they made after creating this place. The architects were incredibly good. I would say they thought throughout all the Viola Park, but of course there are some things that you will realize only when you live a place. One of these was that this wasn't covered, it was possible to see inside, and of course, as Edo just mentioned, it was very important to cover it.
Right. So in the parking lots, they have the jersey numbers of the girls printed on some blocks. So every parking spot is specific to a certain player or a person from the staff. So each and every one has a specific parking lot.
Just to be sure, I don't know if everyone heard it earlier, stuff like, well, physiotherapy, but also like the barber shop, the hairdress, might seem a luxury to some. It might actually not be. As I was saying, not all are over 18, not all can even live in good timelines, hours, when workers are still actually working. So sometimes having someone that works in here is the only way to have your hair done, to make an example, which is actually very important and human.
Some of the structures we do have, like David said, is all the medical rooms, the hairdresser, the barber from the youth team pavilion, they're made because every time a minor has to get outside the pavilions, they have to have a form signed by their parents. So by having all of these facilities, you'll have less reasons to bother the parents and have them sign forms each time they have to get outside. So the more you have on the inside, the better. Complimenti comunque, l'analisi è cattiva. Venerdì cosa vi prospettate? Vediamo.
There will be many screens, just like this one. Of course, that's to see all the timelines of everyone, so that the teams might be prepared, but not only the teams, but all the workers that are here.
Yeah, so this is storage, basically the storage area. Right, and the thing is, I mean, you wouldn't expect it, but the storage is a very important area of Fiorentina in every soccer team, because the people that do work in storage, they're the only people outside of the staff or the team's coach that can get inside a dressing room with the players. So eventually they'll be the ones that report stuff that happens inside the dressing rooms to the coach or management or HR. So I mean, they're everywhere, and they become mentors to the boys and the girls. So each day the girls, they come inside the pavilion, they get downstairs and get their kits. They get their kits and go back on the ground floor. and then they wash their shoes and go train. Then they come back, they wash their shoes again, and then they do whatever they have next, lunch, dinner, breakfast. What is important to note is the boys, the first team's pavilion, the storage people, they hand personally to the players each and every kit, but we wanted to teach the girls to get the kits for themselves. So we wanted to teach them humility and respect for the environment and all the people that work behind the curtains. So it's not just the players that stay here. There's all the staff members, all the people that make this possible. It's not just the players. I mean, just us, the corporate side of Fiorentina, we're 150 employees. So, and if you take into account all groundkeepers, all maintenance, all security, it'll be around 700, 800 people. So it's not a small, you could consider this a small community. Sì, perfetto. Ma dopo allora abbiamo questo.
Alright, we will exit. Next stop will be the pavilion of the events. It was asked before, it's recognizable. It's the most different one to the others because it might look a little bit like, for who knows it, the Shire of the Lord of the Rings. We were speaking a little bit about respect. We were telling about it for the drawer and the professional staff that actually does work also as a first emergency psychology wall, let's say, for our players, which is very important. We were telling about it when we were speaking about the cleanliness of all the places that we do have around here. We will see it, of course, also while talking about the pavilion event for the Strapad. Today is a really wonderful day. Now we'll see what will be the route of this water here. Okay, we will change, we go to the right. Okay, so no problem. Are we all? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all right. Okay. So, the event pavilion. Now, as the name implies, one of the reasons for it to be are the main events. It will be, as you will be able to see even from inside, it's very big, can have hundreds of people in there. Has a very big screen. It does have also a second service to it, I can say. It works as the place where the workers and players alike do have their lunch and dinner. So in a very actually important way, we could say that it is the true heart of the people that work in here. This is one of the differences that is indeed true for everyone, even for the first division. Alright, let's wait for a moment for the other guest. However, as I was mentioning, before, when there was no big place for people to be together, everyone was a little bit for himself in a way. Of course, the team was together for better or worse sometime. However, that's one of the places where the younger generation can actually directly look at the people, the mentors that convinced on starting this career to fuel their talent. It's one way to actually directly speaking with them, to have a life with them, an everyday life at that. So the way it can inspire, the way that the bigger generation can help mentoring the younger one, well, it all happens in here. This is also, I was speaking about respect. This is important whilst we are doing lunch or dinner. The only way to do it, it is through an app. It is actually very easy to reserve for a place and eat in here. It's the same both for the players and for the workers, but even though it's a very small thing to do, an easy one to do, it's actually incredibly important to do so, and it was done so again to teach people to just respect where you are. Not only because of that, of course, there are other many reasons. One of them is because everyone might have a different nutrition program, and it is important for the chefs to know this program. It is one of the ways so that the chefs know how much to prepare each day, because wasting food is not very nice. I ask you to stay for a moment on the right and leave the person. Please, okay, not on the grass. All right. And yeah, food wasting, it's not nice. Not everyone has an easy life, and food can be a problem in some places. So this way, through reserving, there will be minimum waste. There will always be a little bit of it, of surplus, of course. However, when this surplus is done, it is given to the Caritas, so to the service that helps more unfortunate people, so that nothing is ever truly wasted. All right, we will wait for a second for the others to arrive. It is still impossible, not really easy to see inside. Again, we will enter, we'll see it better in a moment, and we will take advantage. Now and again, the architecture was about nature. What's the columns, all of them, you can see that here are done in shape. That's very easy. It's from the Viola Park, which is also the purple, which is the color of Florence in general, not only of Fiorentina. But here we can see also a lot of wood. This done in conformation to the aesthetics of all the place. But it also shows that the great majority of the material of the place is recyclable. Here again is where the biggest events, of course, are done, especially at night time. But as I was mentioning, it is also where all the workers and the players do eat together. So you can imagine how the small life moments, the small thoughts, inspiring ones, stressful ones, banter and so on, is done. Right. We will. Which is actually again outside. Yes, and yeah, again, nature makes the purple color, which you will love. And this is for a reason, the event pavilion. Now, this pavilion is not only for events. We will exit through this side here And there is another side, important one.
So this is a courtyard in which we have very elegant catering and dinners. It's also a rentable space. That is a cork tree, a 120-year-old cork tree that was planted here. And that's the bus we usually use during the events to tour people around.
And here again, an important part about architecture, as he was saying, this one was imported. However, we are inside of the hills of Tuscany, but inside of Viola Park, of course, we do surround again nature. Once again, it is all. I really find it really enjoyable how it all connects itself. It is not seen only from here. We will see it also from the villa. However, this is one of the sign signatures of Casamonti, the architect, especially the roof. We don't see it right now, but we were able to see it earlier, where all the grass is on us, and this is typical, the Casamonti, in fact, signature. Probably and possibly this pavilion is my favorite one, but of course I will leave you to your subjectivity. The left part, so St. Catherine. Religion is important.
Yeah, so basically, the Roccohomiso, the president's very Catholic. So he wanted to have this building for everybody. So on Thursday, we have Mass. The Don gives Mass at 6:30 p.m. And it's truly for everybody. So if I wanted to go on Thursdays to Mass, I could, and I'd find a lot of players because there's a lot of people at Mass. Yeah, this is a place the president wanted to dedicate to his wife Catherine. That's why it's dedicated to Saint Catherine. If you want, we can take a look.
Now, it is for everybody, but of course it's not due of everybody, only everyone who wishes to pray may do so. And while this one is, of course, Catholic Church, however, everyone can pray their own religion inside. But yeah, on Tuesday there are Catholic teachings for the youngsters that want to learn something. Here, once again, a circle with natural light that enters the structure. This, of course, there's not a lot, but it is holy water. It makes sure to always be. And the dawn of this church is also the one of Bagno at Nicoli, which we can see outside.
So yeah, a lot of these plates you'll see, they're from Carrara. It's Carrara's marble, so it's the same material Michelangelo used to build the sculptures, the David, or these are. It's the same material. They're hand-picked by the president's wife, so she personally chose. The altar. Inside the altar, there's a relic, saint's bone, and yeah, it's a very, very beautiful structure we have, minimalist, and very peaceful. I come here sometimes after lunch. Super peaceful.
Yeah. But it's small, it's a noteworthy place, especially for ease of mind for everyone. You can maybe hear why these were the first steam trains. The reason of the wall, of course, is for intelligence sake, so that it can't be disclosed. We will have to wait for a moment to receive a sign from Edoardo. Si gira, and exactly for this reason, we have here the wall. We can only see the pavilion from there. There are actually two. That one is the main first team one. However, again, exactly because of the reason that we can hear them train, we cannot actually show them to you this time around. But we thank you for the comprehension. It's not one of the best moments for Fiorentina, by the way, so one of more reasons.
Now they're training, so it would be unwise to go near the training, but they're training right now. And but I'll explain the pavilions all the same. It's basically the same as you saw on the women's pavilion. The only thing that changes is the fact it's double the size. So the gym is double the size, the one you saw in the women's pavilion, and there's twice as much as the rooms in the women's pavilion. So there'll be like 35 rooms, some suites. They give to Mediacom higher ups that usually stay here every once in a while. So, or to players that want to stay here for more than a few months, which happens because usually we give the rooms to players that use these spaces as temporary spaces in which to stay. Usually they go to Florence to get housing, but for a few months they can stay here. Right now, for example, they'll stay here for a few weeks because Fiorentina is not doing too well right now. So they'll stay here for a bit. But they're training, like right now. And another cool thing is the basement, like the one you saw. The one in the first team's pavilion hosts the biggest types of facilities. They have a swimming pool. Actually, they have three swimming pools.
Dining place, dentist.
Yeah, there's they have a separate cafeteria for moments of retreat, like right now. They have a television set. They have all the communications wing, which started out with just a few people, and now it has about 15 because of social media. And I mean, communication-wise, everything has expanded in the last 10 years, so it's gotten bigger. And then we have a clinic, we have a dentist, we have a barber, we have x-rays. So it's nothing short of a well-equipped hospital. And it's for everybody in the training center. So the kids, they start from the under 18, and the girls, they start from the under 10 team. So 8 and 10-year-olds, all scouted, all recruited, and they can go to the medical medical facilities of the first team. So it's for everybody. Even us, the employees, we do sometimes get certain benefits. So just last week we could have gotten a vaccine if we wanted to. We have session like psychotherapy sessions. There's a lot of benefits that are linked with the medical facilities of Fiorentina, but they're made They were made. It's probably the biggest investment of all Viola Park, and the investment was made for rehabilitation purposes and for prevention purposes. Obviously, if a player gets hurt, Fiorentina loses a lot of money.
So that, yeah, therapy prevention is actually a very big investment. Might seem like a lot of money, but millions were invested for prevention, but every single time that there is an injury, there's a lot of money lost, which is more than those millions that were invested in prevention. And having studied, I'm speaking subjectively right now, having studied motor sciences, to me, the most important and interesting part of it is this one, the prevention part. Right, now I believe that we are going towards the aforementioned, let's say, lake. And then for a moment towards the villa. Del media center dice dopo la villa.
Sì, magari quando siamo alla villa io faccio uno squillo a Andrea e sapere cosa se lo mette giù, forse First team's pavilion. The pitch on the right, it's a natural grass pitch. It's where it's the one they do in which they do their prep. So it's athletic, purely athletic training. And then the tactical part of the training gets done on the two natural grass pitches in front of the pavilion. Each and every pitch of Fiorentina, of the training center, follows the rules of UEFA, so UEFA standards. So all the sizes match up to 105 per 68 meters. That's in meters. I don't know, metric system, I'm not very familiar. I don't know. But yeah, and those are some of the bots we have. There are gardeners. There's a team of 15 gardeners, but still we have some robots that go and cut grass 24/7.
Like the Roombas, but a little more on the field. Okay, to the right we go.
So,
You can see on our left
over there is a player of the first team.
What's his name?
I have to see, I just see the number. He's one of the juvenile attached to the first team.
Oh.
60. But it's, you see them around.
Oh yeah, and by the way,
Right.
there's a pitch separated, a specific pitch for the goalkeepers, because the goalkeepers they damage the pitch way more than normal players, so they have all the way in the back another pitch just for themselves. So in total, it'll be 13 pitches. Then we have a little small soccer pitch for the under 18. Just not even a month ago, we've had on Davide Astori, we've had the employees match. So all the employees play together and against each other. Io non ho giocato. Sì. No, bello, sì. Non ho giocato perché giocavano dei giocatori di Serie A, ex giocatori di Serie A, e quindi no.
Qual età? Sono 40?
No, Benassi c'ha 31 anni. Galoppa quanti ce n'avrà? 30, sì, tra i 30 e 40 comunque. Però ex giocatori, cioè ex giocatori.
It's a first team player right there.
Magari.
Okay, this one might seem kind of a small lake. It is actually very big, especially profound, deep is the correct word. And as I was mentioning, there is actually an entire very complicated system on the roofs that will arrive to the lake and thus to irrigate again all the fields. Watering all this place isn't an easy thing to do. It doesn't always rain. So this one is again neuralgic, both for the existing and correct functioning of the place, but again, as I mentioned earlier, for the animals that do live here. And again, yeah, possibly some rabbits can be hidden right now on the bushes. And on our left side, there is the young generation pavilion. We can't enter there, again for privacy sake, but there were also some complications. But we will proceed to the villa. Now there will be some names. In Viola Park, we have heard of Davide Astori. Here the villa, the name is dedicated to Joe Barone, as you can see. An important thing to know about the structure, it is actually the most ancient structure that you can see around. Everything else is new. This one is of a couple of centuries ago. It was renovated, of course, as you can see, it was not always like that. And actually even more ancient than the villa, which however can't be seen right now, it can be seen downstairs, are all the Etrurian sites. And these are of more than 1,000 years ago. In fact, more than 2,000 years ago. Here. And yeah, the construction of Viola Park had to be stopped, and it was a little prolonged to what was the original plan, and it was done exactly to respect and maintain all the sculptures and ancient works that we found, well, downstairs, that we didn't even know about.
Wow.
So that took some time to collect it, to prevent destruction of, to catalog it.
You said 2,000 years?
Yeah, the Etrurians
Wow.
are before the Romans. In fact, they
What?
were conquered by the Romans.
Really?
Yeah.
Will we get a chance to look at them?
We will not. Not today, no.
Okay.
There's some Etrurian, however, if you will be here in Florence, I mean, for
Yeah.
a little more, can be seen, I believe, inside of our town hall. So at Palazzo Vecchio, there is a place where some architecture can be found.
Okay.
Well, sculptures.
Yeah.
The right name, the right word doesn't come
Yeah.
to mind. Language limitations, but yeah. In Italian, they were the Etruschi.
Mm.
We're not entering here, but here are some ovens. That is another very nice place of relaxation. For some maybe better than the chapel. And that place was done exactly with that intention in mind. It's possible to create pizzas and to eat all together. So there is that. It is also actually one of the few places where they can study relaxation without a lot of noise. Now again, not the first time that we see it, but we can again once again see a nice circle and an olive tree in this case. So once more an example of nature surrounded by architecture, surrounded by nature. It seems like we can enter inside of the villa. Now we were speaking about the event pavilion, which does have the biggest event. However, this place is very private and militaristic. Here, of course, the events will be much smaller because of place. However, it also means that generally the most important events are done here.
Yeah, let's say that this building was intended to be the house of the presidency, not in terms of actually sleeping here, but it should have hosted all the offices for the president, the DS, the DG, and it does have them. Only thing is they have those same buildings inside the first men's pavilion. So mostly they stay there if they're here. But this originally should have been the house of the president, say. Then, just like David said, it became the place in which we do the most important meetings. Actually, the second floor is, we do the most important meetings here. But then again, it could be a space that's rentable. So you can rent this space for events. And it has a mini bar, which I want to show you. You also might have seen that there's a building in front of this building of the farmhouse, the villa. And in that building, there's another separate bar, other separate offices. And they're mostly vacant, but still they're used as classrooms for the kids or formation for the employees. So just last week, I did a formation class on the second floor of the villa about safety and health and safety. The kids, they go in the annexes, the other part of the villa, the farmhouse, and they study. They just have classes or team buildings. So yeah, you could rent this space out, but still they're used for formation purposes. Yeah, I personally set up this mini bar, so I hope it looks good. No, l'avevano tutta questa roba, siamo anche là e l'ho rimesso tutto io, sperando di farlo abbastanza bene. Another fun fact is the tower.
Sorry if I'm closing you.
The tower of the villa is sets the maximum height for all the other buildings. So the architect couldn't build as far as the tower. So all the roofs are at least the same height of the tower.
Okay, last but not least, we will grant permission to enter the media center, so we'll take this chance. Now again, as I was mentioning before, one of the reasons we are not entering this pavilion was for some unfortunate events. But we are rebuilding some parts of it. But here we go. You can see the small branded ACF Fiorentina. We can see, there they are, the flags, the three ones of Italy, of Fiorentina, but also of Florence itself. The rough on the right. Media center. This one has two reasons to be. We will enter from the main entry once everyone is nearby.
So that building over there, is that what they do, like say deadline day, January transfer window, right? The winter transfer window. Do they do transfers over here, like process the paperwork and send it back and stuff?
I'll be frank, I don't know about. If you're referring to the reason why it was destructed, there was some burning.
Yeah.
However, the origin as not only the place which should be there, but also the reason, I simply don't know.
Yeah.
Probably simply something didn't work out.
Yeah. But corporate side of Fiorentina handles the transfers for the players and stuff, right? And buying players and all that. And that is that done here, somewhere here?
The transfer.
Yeah. Like, were you buying a player, say from the Premier League, from Chelsea?
So it really depends that part. If we are speaking about the first
team,
E dopo i contratti dove si decide dove ci saranno i trasferimenti o meno, dov'è che vengono decisi della prima squadra?
Dove vengono decisi?
Sì.
There's a few offices in the first team pavilion. The DS, he's the one that does.
He was mentioning
the contracts.
The second wing, so it's probably the.
Yes. So that's where they take all the photos for Fiorentina. So when they do transfers, there's it's the very first office in the.
So like David De Gea, he would.
They would live there for some days if necessary.
The space
even more,
you'll see right now is the space in which the newly acquired players, they get presented to the public and the journalists. So you'll see our press conference room.
Oh, nice. Nice.
We may all enter. This is the future of the media center. Entry, last point, but not the less important one. Here we are, the trophies of Fiorentina. Again, not too many. This year is not doing too great, but we are very positive and optimistic in nature. We have all another wing there, just ready, even though empty, but just ready for the next ones to come in the future.
Champions League.
Yeah, we'll see. And this is another very important place to ours, another heart. This is the spiritual heart in a way. Because all the emotions are waiting to explode in a way. So we do care about this place. Now, it is not important to the trophies. Subjectively, I really love the Fleur de Lille chairs, but that's a very small thing to say. We will now enter the media center. We will see a small video. Not always it is available. That's one of the reasons why we couldn't start here before they were doing some works. And some interviews are done in here. Sometimes, of course, the trainer is here, so it's not always available. We managed to enter here. We managed to go, and I believe we will go right now before time goes out. Okay, let's enter. There is a video that as I was mentioning the interviews of the trainer and so on, of course they're done in here. You are able to do some pics in here if you wish so. And this is done in a loop. You will watch the videos, there are two important ones, and then I will tell a couple of things that I have in my heart to say from the book.
Viola Park is Fiorentina's home, spanning 31 hectares, about 76 acres, and standing as the most technologically advanced sports center in Europe. At Viola Park, you'll find the club's headquarters, the training grounds for all men's and women's teams, and the facilities where the youth sector trains, grows, and develops the future talents destined to wear the Fiorentina jersey. On November 28, 2019, Fiorentina's president.
Thank you. I'm grateful for you that you have spent your time, that you have dedicated your time to us. And yeah, maybe you can talk about your experiences in here outside of Florence and Italy when you go back. I hope that you enjoyed all this, our green, our nature, but also our passion, not only towards our nature, but in this case also about soccer. And yeah, it's better if I don't stay here for too much because I'm half Czech, so I have a renown for drinking, but I can't right now. No, joking aside, yeah, I really hope that you enjoyed yourselves.
I did. I did.
If you need, of course, you may ask to this guy. Ciao!
This is the bar area and the training facility. Behind the scenes of Fiorentina. I hope you guys really enjoyed it.
One drink, Pepsi or water.
Okay.
Don't ask for Coke. Fiorentina has a partnership with Pepsi. You will be kicked out.
Is that because that team in Turin has a partnership?
No, I think it's just because they make up. It's a brand new partnership.
Yeah.
It's this year thing.
Okay.
So it's just that they pick one, probably. Yeah. So the bartender, you simply ask, and then you see the jersey. From the very old one, the first one is more than the 17th. Then you have the 80s coming over, new ones, some people that work here in the past, someone that, there is a number that is not available anymore for no one, number 13, no one in Fiorentina, would always bring over. Captain, 2018, went out to play, he went to sleep, and he never woke It was a cardio problem, and just in the night he passed over. So that was a huge issue you can get. All the team didn't play almost for a month, and then there was some, and so that number was taken out. When we were over there, probably entering the field, you see there are some blocks. They make a 13. Next to it, there is written Davide Astori, captain forever. All the kids that get into the match know that he's looking at them. It's a matter of, feeling, having like
passion,
a milestone, a milestone for the young.
Yeah.
So that's it. But you can enjoy the bar. When you finish your drink, the tour is basically over. So
amazing tour behind the scenes. See you guys on the next one. Bye.